Hello, Tafans. It's another amazing day. And we'll start by reviewing the trades we did yesterday. And we look forward to what trades we have for today. Let me know if you can hear me and you're following my screen. And we're going to be diving straight into the setup. Yesterday was quite an interesting setup. We were still carrying out the setup just about 30 minutes to an hour after that. And one of our trade was 100% completed, and that was the trade for CFS. So today we want to take the setup as fast as possible before we move into having our discussions and going through all the stuff that we have for the day. Now, as usual, the chat on Zoom is wide open. You want to send in your feedback, you want to send in your questions. As we keep going through the sections, if you do have questions, you want to send that right into the chat, and we're going to be answering those questions during the course of this section. Yesterday, we did look into CFS and we created a setup for that, and that really ran super fast, just directly into about 30 minutes to an hour after the setup, and that trade completed its complete trade cycle for a 50% profit. Then we did make some updates, if you're following the channel, about other trades that had taken some level of profit but not totally completed, on what you can do about those trades. Now, one of them is the MK arrow trade. So we did say if you do have an MK arrow trade, then you've completed about 6 cycles strategy period. So you want to update that strategy period to 1. Now, what that would do is that is going to stop your bot at the next tick profit because that trade is now totally completed. Now, if you do not want to set to strategy 1 and you say like, okay, I've made a lot of profit, I just want to close the trade directly, then I could show you what you need to do to absolutely just stop the trade to take the new trade for today. But if you still feel like you want to take the profit from that trade before closing it, then you want to switch your strategy period to 1. And I'm just going to dive into my Tafabot app to show you how to directly do that for those who are new on this section. Now, it's important to make clear that if you're new here today, and what we do daily is to show you live setup that you can use directly in your Martingale bot to make as much profit daily. Now, the Martingale strategy gives you an opportunity for unlimited levels of profit. Means if the market is super great, the setup are great, you could make 100% in a month, you could make 200, you could make 100% in a week, just depending on the market structure. Now, we do have other bot options if you're new here. Bots like Neuronet that is 100% automated. You don't need to join this live setup. You don't need to create any setup. All you need to do is create the bot and let it run. At the end of the month, it's going to be producing thereabout 10 to 30% in profits. So depending on how the market goes for that month. So that is 100% hands-free bot. So if you have set that up, it's going to take about 1 to 2 trades in a week. Sometimes it could take more, sometimes it could take 1 trade per day, all depending on the flow of the market. But the goal is at the end of the month, it's going to be making you about 10 to 30%. So if you are that kind of users, you don't want to lift a finger, we do have a bot for you that you can directly use without going through the setups that we're doing here today. But if you do want to make more profit than the regular users, then you want to follow up this setup. And I did state last time that we are also simplifying the setup for leaders to be able to create their own mirror system where anyone can copy them with a click. That is already available in the current app, but we're simplifying the process to make it really, really superb for anyone who has a copy board. So I'm just going to jump right into my screen and show you how you could switch the strategy period for those who are new. I did see a lot of questions about that. How do I switch that? So you can see on my Tafabot app right here, I'm going to show you how you can do that right away. So if you're following my Tafabot app over here, you're going to see all of my trades ongoing. So I'm going to click on the BTC trade, for example. When you click on the BTC trade, you can see my BTC trade took a whole lot of profits, but right now it's in a trade that is only about 0.1%. Now, BTC trade is one of the trade I would say it is totally done. We want to set our strategy period to 1 to totally shut down the trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the bot right over here, go on next, and you're going to see strategy period as 10 that it was earlier, and then you're going to switch it to 1 and save. Literally, that is all you need to do. But if you do feel like you just want to shut down the trade right away, you really don't want to wait to take another profit, what you need to do is re-edit the bot again, go to next, switch form, relax to conservative. In the conservative, put 0.1. What you're telling it is, if you do save this bot, what you're telling your bot is shut down this trade at whatsoever profit or loss that it is currently on, and your bot totally shuts down. You also want to make sure the strategy period is 1. So when it shuts down, it doesn't take any further trades again. So I hope that is totally 100% clear. Now, there's a lot of improvements that we're doing, and one of them is we want to ensure that you're not deleting your bot every day. Now, we've seen such stuff from user suites like the startup license. You do have 5 bots limit. So you have to every day delete your old bot to set up a new bot to follow up the new setting. So part of the improvement we're making is ensuring that you don't have to delete your bot, that you can directly update any bot to use any kind of setting, different market than what it was trading for. And you'll be able to continue with that bot because if you go to the leadership rank over here, we want to start ranking bots, not just users. So you're going to see traders based on Martingale bots that have done SS amount of profit. So if your bot does a profit, it records it. It doesn't matter if you switch the markets, you're going to continue with that same bot, and your bot will keep ranking that this is one of the best performing Martingale bots. This is one of the best Smart Invest bot, and so on. So we're going to be ranking that, and all of these whole structures you're going to see will also be changing. So let's jump right into creating our setups for today. I'm going to switch right back into our setup screen, and we head straight into creating our setup for today. So you want to make sure you've moved all of this that I talked about, MKRO, Wi-Fi. This did 25% profit, so you also need to switch it to close. INJ did 20%, Ocean 20%, and BTC, you want to switch all of those into strategy 1 to take today's trade. Now, we try to give different setup every day because the market is moving. There's no like one single setup that is just going to keep working. As the market changes, the setup needs to change. This is why we provide you with the daily setup. FTM 15%, you want to move the setup. Also TOMO 45, amazing. You want to move the setup. Now we're going to head into new setup for today. But before that, I believe that a lot of the users did see what was the difference between using the new auto deleveraging function. If you've applied for that, if you've not, you want to apply for that. And we did explain that auto deleveraging automatically deleverage you, even if you're using a 10x leverage. If the market try going against you, it's just going to deleverage you down, so you're not affected by the markets. So if you do want to apply for that, you want to send an email to futures@tafabot.com. So I'm just going to put that right into the chat once more, futures@tafabot.com. You want to send a mail, say, set me up for auto deleveraging. All right, now we did say auto deleveraging is going to be open for every Tafabot user in the new app in the next coming weeks. So I'm just going to read through. If you did use auto deleveraging or you got into a trade, I want to see it in the chart. How was that really helpful as against what you used to have before? All right, Weasley, you're asking, should we close or open trade? I think I already just answered that and showed you how to do that on my screen. Say, Solomon, you're asking, if we do close ready trade, what happens to the negative P&L? I did say, if you want to wait for the trade to close in profit, set strategy to 1, is going to take profit and close, right? But if you want to close it right away and you don't care about like I'm on 0.3%, that's literally nothing. If you don't care about that as against how much you've made earlier, then you could just set conservative 0.1 and shut down the trade with that negative P&L. Okay, Solomon said the auto deleveraging function is superb. More wisdom to you and the Tafabot team, Tafabot to the moon. Business mentor, you're asking, deleveraging, like reducing your leverage, wouldn't that add more of your capital in the trade? Now, how that works is if you were using a 10x leverage and you're making profit, and the market goes bad, automatically, if you were on the 10x and the market goes bad 10%, that means 100% of your capital. Now, what auto deleveraging does is nullify your leverage, re-strategize your entry into using the lowest possible leverage that the market doesn't affect you. So if, say, the market dumps 50% as against when you would have had like 100% loss or a liquidation due to your leverage, you could be on maybe 5% or 3%. An instance is the Wi-Fi trade. If you are on Wi-Fi, now that's one of the trades that did go down way over 10%, but with auto deleveraging, we're just 0.6%. So that is something very, very beautiful. That is how auto deleveraging works. It's a super amazing function. As users asking, should we set a CFS strategy to 1? Yes, everything directly to 1. Okay, we do have this user who says, please, I would like to unsubscribe from auto deleveraging. That's interesting. I don't like how it took my leverage away from 10s to 1. After my bot entered, I did make profit, but the profit was low because it switched my leverage. Now, if you want to unsubscribe for that, please just send an email right away. You're going to be our guest to unsubscribe for that. So send an email right away, say unsubscribe me, that's totally fine. And you stick with the 10S. Now, you want to know that if the market does go against you, you're on the 10S and the market goes against you 10%, you are going to be liquidated. You're going to lose 100% of your capital. So if that's what you want, then you want to unsubscribe from auto deleveraging right away. This is the biggest function that even no exchange has, no platform has. This is one of the best things we're giving to TAFAs right away. But if you do feel like you don't like it because it saves your capital against the bad days, then you can 100% unsubscribe for that. In the new application, you will be able to unsubscribe directly with one click from your app. Okay, all the strategy period, other users are still asking, you want to change it to 1 so that those trades are going to close while we go into the new trade for today that we're going to be joining right away. Okay, user K said, does auto deleveraging work on KuCoin? It works absolutely on any exchange that you're connecting. Okay, I have another user. I must say auto deleveraging is really the best ever. Another user, auto deleveraging is super amazing, the greatest innovation of this time in crypto trading. Another one, for auto deleveraging, is there an option in the app to turn it on? Right now, it's not in the app, but I did give an early access to everyone joining the live section that you could send an email to futures@tafabot.com and automatically it gets activated for you. In the new app, you'll be able to do that yourself without chatting or contacting anyone. All right, so we do have a lot of testimonials for CFS is delivering profits like an Hebrew woman. Amazing, perfect. So we're gonna head straight. There's a lot of comment coming in. I'm gonna go through that again. Let's head straight into creating our setup. I wanna be sure that with this time you've been able to set up the strategy period 1 to make sure you're taking in the new setup. Someone said, I love auto deleveraging. You trade with peace of mind while the bot is in full control. Yes, that is the whole goal for auto deleveraging. For instance, with the Wi-Fi trade, we should be on, in a 10S, you should be on way over 60% loss if you're trading Wi-Fi. Because you're on 10S, that's a leverage, like you can change that. But with auto deleveraging, my Wi-Fi is on 0.6. Nothing beats that. I didn't have to check my bot. I didn't have to look, is the market going fine or going bad? For me, this is one of the best things Tafa is offering to me right now. All right, let's head straight. Let's head straight into the setup for today. So much comment is coming in. I'm going to go through that. Let's just head straight into the bot. So our first trade for today is for mask. Now for max, we are going to be shorting it, and this is for futures only. Now, as usual, we're going to head straight into the chart when we're done with the setup. But I'm going to leave this in the screen to make sure everyone takes the setup and you don't miss it. So while this isn't on your screen, you want to put the setup right away. And when we're done, we're going to head straight in the chart and then see why are we shorting max. There are other coins we're also going to be longing. Why are we longing those coins? So for max, you want to do that right away. Price movements, 24. Average movement, if you have capital lesser than 200 or above 200, is basically the same. 3, we're shorting, leverage is 10. Auto deleveraging is yes. The strategy period this time is 5, not 10, like other setup. So you want to put that right in. I'm going to head straight into my Tafabot app and create my setup for mask. For the user asking, how can you trade today's trade? Your current setup, despite setting strategy 1 is still on. Yes, what is going to happen with your setup is if the market gives it 1 profit, it's going to shut down and not take another trade. Now, for the trade we're giving right now, you want to just set it up. You possibly might not start it if you feel you don't have enough capital to cover up for those trades. And once your other trade closes, then you start it up. But if you do have capital to cover for it, you just start it up right away. Someone said CFS is still delivering profit to this moment, but you ask us to change strategy 1. Some of us moved to Wi-Fi, which haven't delivered much profit. Okay, CFS is still delivering profit. That is great, but we've taken a lot of profit from it. You want to let that go. We've taken a lot of profit from it already. So let me know if your mask is 100% set up. I want to know, and we move to the other setup. We do have 7 setup for today, and we want to run as fast as possible. Now, if you're wondering how to set up, you're joining us for the first time, what you want to do is go to the Tafabot Martingale calculator. You can find it over here. I'm going to put it right in the chart again for users who are joining for the first time. So you want to go to the Tafabot Martingale calculator. You want to switch to futures. This is only on futures for max. And you want to set up, let's say for me, I want to trade max $5,000 on a 10S for $50,000 position size. And the setup is 24.3. So you want to go 24.3 and push. It gives you your setup over here. So this is my setup, and you want to do the same thing in the calculator for yours and create the setup right away. I'm going to give like 2 minutes for that. And while I'm creating my setup, I trust you're also doing the same. I don't have a bot for Mac, so I'm going to be creating a new bot for myself. And Mac setup, bot name, exchange, I'm using Binance. You can use any exchange for this. Markets is max. My capital is 5,000. I'm doing a short. Strategy normal. If you have created the setup, please let me know in the chat that you have the setup already. This is my setup. I have first entry capital 22.8, number of entry 8, leverage 10. So this is max. If you have not done that, price movement 24, average movement 3, you want to put that into your calculator to get these figures. Save, take profits 1, relax, strategy period. Please note, if you're not using auto deleveraging, and in our strategy, we say relax, you definitely don't want to use relax. You're going to get liquidated. So if you're not doing auto deleveraging, you want to go for conservative. You want to have your stop loss. If the market does go against you and you're not auto deleverage, that will be a very, very bad idea. Okay, business mentor, you're asking, is it advisable to initiate a setup right now? You've not applied for auto deleveraging. What you want to do is apply for it right away. 1 hour after this call, it should be activated for you by the technical team. You're going to get an email. It's done really, really fast. So yes, you can take the setup right away. Strategy period 5, re-entry 0.1. I'm done. I'm going to start up my max setup. I see a lot of users say done also. So we're going to move straight into the next setup. And our next setup for today, we want to do that really fast, is for AAVE. Now, this setup is available for sports and on futures, and we're tracking AAVE 22. If you're using capital $200 below, then you have AAVE average at 6. If you do have, that is on sports. If you're on sports and you have $200 and above, you're tracking AAVE 4. If you are on futures, $200 and below, then 3 is also working for you, and above 3 also works for you. So you want to head straight into creating your setup, start your board. Now, the reason why we're taking this setup fast, we don't want to have what we experienced yesterday, that we're still doing the setup and the market really just moved away. And that was a lot of more profit we should have taken. So you want to make sure you're putting in your setup right away. And creating my setup also. Okay, let's go. If you're done with the setup, please let me know in the chat and say setup done. AAVE, this is available for sport or future, guys. Any capital will be able to do that. Create boards, AAVE setup. Bought AAVE. A lot of us bought NFTs of Bought AAVE. So for Bought AAVE, we're longing. Let me know if you're done. Okay, a user is asking, is it possible to know a projected higher profit trade? So say, okay, this is a trade that could deliver better profit. We're going to look at that into the chart, and we're going to say these are trades that can deliver better profit than this other trade, why, and all of those. So first, we want to take all of the setup. Another user saying, I got a reply for deleveraging, but I can't find it in the app. It's not in the app right now. What you got is a pre-access that you shouldn't get, but I'm giving a pre-access to that for everyone joining this section. So you're not going to see it in your app until weeks from now, when we're going to have a new Tafabot app. Once again, if you're tracking this, you're doing 22.3, so you just head straight into the configuration. You want to make sure auto deleveraging is on. If you're not using auto deleverage, please turn it off. Your configuration will be totally different. So we're tracking 22. Confirm that again, 22.3, and leverage 10. Now, guys, you're seeing that I'm now doing leverage 10, even when I'm doing a $100,000 position size. The only reason I can do that is auto deleverage. I wouldn't dare that without an auto deleveraging. The market right now is unstable, very too volatile. There can be a news tomorrow. Like you've seen in the past week, there's so much coming up. Also on the 17th, we're going to be having a news that could affect the market. On the 22nd, 24th, there are several news coming up that could affect the market. It could go really bullish. It could go really bearish. You don't want to be caught in that market without an auto deleverage. All right, I'm putting in my setup also. Save, take profit 1, relax strategy 5, 0.1, 0.1, save APE, startup APE. If you're done with APE, please say done. I see a lot of message already. Done. We're going to move to the next one. Make sure you're done with APE. Let's run ahead. Someone said Max already in 11% profit. Are you serious? That's interesting. Okay, so our Max setup is already running at 11% profit. All right, I'm just going to check that also to confirm on my Binance. Max, yes, that is correct. Max is already on profit. So this is why we're taking the setup really, really fast. We move to the next setup right away. This setup is for AAVE. All right. So we're moving to AAVE. So this is also open for spots and on futures. And we're tracking 27. If you do have capital below $200 for spots, you're tracking 7. Above 200, you're tracking 6. Capital of futures below or above 200, you're tracking 3. And we're longing this market. So you want to take this setup right away. AAV, I'm going to head straight into my Tafabot to make this setup right away. AAV 27.3, go to your calculator. Okay. 27.3. 27.3, leverage 10, put in, and you want to set that up right away. All right. If you're done with this, I'm going to keep it a while in your screen. I'm also setting up my, if you're done with it, you want to indicate. I do not have a bot for AAVE, so I'm going to be creating a new bot for that. AAVE. Setup. If you're done with that, you could just say in the chat, you're done. Let's see how many users are done with this setup. All right. We're longing this. Martingale is normal. And over here, you could see my own setup. You want to put that in the calculator for your own setup. My number of entries is 9. This is going to be different for everyone depending on your setup and your capital. Someone said I have exceeded my 5 bots for a starter license. That is amazing. How can you know if your auto deleveraging is activated in Tafabot? If you did get a mail that says is activated, literally that is all, it's activated already. Now, of course, in the new app, you're going to see it directly inside your app. But right now, you cannot see that because this is a pre-access. So you enjoy what it feels like to have auto deleveraging before every other Tafabot users. Strategy period is 5. Take profit. We are using relax also. Let me know if you've taken this trade, and we're going to be moving ahead from that. AAVE for sports and on futures. I'm going to start up my bot right away. I don't want to miss any profits. Okay, we're going to move away from this. We do have more setups to deal with today. Then we have a setup for Ocean. All right, a user is asking, please, we need more active trade on $100 license. All right, let's move ahead. We have another trade for Ocean. This is on futures only. We did take an Ocean trade a while ago. So if you have set up Ocean before, then you probably have an Ocean board. I do have one. Now, if you still have a Ocean market running, I did tell you what to do. Either you want to take it to stop immediately, or you created strategy one is going to take profit. Then you're totally switching to this new trade. And I'm going to show you why we're switching to this new trade for Ocean. All right, another user, please, if we can know what trade has higher probability. I'm going to show you all of that once we jump into the charts. The first goal is let's take up the setup as fast as possible. Then I'm going to jump on that and show you. So in my Ocean, I've made already a lot of profits. And right now I'm on like 0.02%. That's literally nothing. That's less than 20 cents, despite in a $5,000 capital. And I've made way more profit yesterday on Ocean. So I'm just going to head straight into telling Ocean to shut down my bot so I can take the short trade. Yesterday, we were long in Ocean. So right now, I'm just going to go into my bot and switch Ocean to shorts, taking this new trade right away. Don't forget to update the strategy period to 5, as yesterday we were using 10. So you want to close down the Ocean trade. If you still have that and you want to be on short, that is one market we want to short. All right, I want to believe we're done with Ocean. Someone is asking for calculator again. We're going to send that into the group. So just look through the chart and you're going to have the Martingale calculator again on the chart. All right, we're done with Ocean. We're heading straight into the next setup. We have so much for today. Our next setup is for HNT. And this is also on futures HNT. So you want to take also this setup right away. Let's go HNT. We're going to head into the chart, so we really need to be fast. Let's head into the chart. If you do want to know what trade is more profitable, then you could set up all the bots but not start it up, right? You could set up all the bots, not start it up, and we go through the charts, shows you what trade is more profitable, and you decide which one to turn on. The Ocean trade, if you did switch your Ocean right now, then you're already in way more profit than the 0.06 that you were possibly on in the negative. You're in way more profits than that. Ocean is already producing profits in just a minute. So I'm going to head straight into setting my whole board, HNT setup. HNT setup, market, HNT. This is futures only. Now I'm putting in a lot of capitals in my bots, like I don't normally do. And also that is because all my bots are running on auto deleveraging. If the market goes wrong, like last week, I'm totally unbothered. So you want to pick up this trade. For HNT, we're tracking 60 movements, and this is only on futures 67. So you want to head straight into your calculator. You're going to put, okay, 67, leverage 10, and you get your set up like this. Number of entry, 8. So you want to get your setup like this. If you're done with the setup, you can indicate in the chart. We can already see people making profit from Ocean and the rest other bots that we've already started. Profits are already rolling in. This is why we're trying really to be fast. You can see profit 2 minutes ago. People are already taking profits. We really want to be fast to put all the setup before going to the charts. You could see a user from Denmark 2 minutes ago. Profits are already recording. User is asking, my BTC is still running. Yes, I did explain what to do about that in the early hours of this section. Yes, you can stop it directly and take the new setup. All right, I'm still putting in my setup. Let me know if you're done with this and we can skip it. Go ahead with all the setup. All right. This is one of the setup that we're really tracking a high level movement. And I'm going to show you a reason for that once we head into the chart. Now, an interesting thing did happen today. There was one of the setup. There was one of the setup that we had just a few minutes before the live section. Before we could go on this section today, the setup was completed. So we really don't want that to happen. So when we jump right on the Zoom before any other thing, we want to take the setup to start making profits. All right, I want to believe the setup is totally done. Okay, another user, I'm still not clear on how to close Ocean. I'm on spot trading. It's literally the same thing, spot or futures, literally the same thing. If you want to close it right away, switch. Okay, if you are on spot, you cannot take Ocean trade. So you just want to set your Ocean to take one profit by switching the strategy period to 1. So once it takes a profit, it shuts down. You cannot take the Ocean trade for today, but I did show other trade for spots that you can take right away. Okay, I'm going to move to the screen. HNT, this is the info again. I'm going to leave that for 2 minutes. I'm done with mine. I'm going to be starting HNT startup, and we're going to move to other setup. Let me know if you're done with this setup. Let's run really, really fast into order setup for today. Totally, we're doing 7 setup for today. Yesterday, we did do way over 9 setup. All right, if you're done, could you just indicate? I see a lot of users are done. If you're not, you're still going to find this in the screen. Let's move forward. Our next setup is for SMRO. We don't want the chart to leave. We want to take the profits immediately. So if you don't have a bot for that, like I don't, you want to create a bot. So XMRO setup. And for SMRO, we're tracking 27. This is also only for futures. So we do have about 3 trade for sports and other more trade for futures traders. And the reason for that is futures allows you to trade both sides of the market, which is why we do encourage futures. Now with auto deleveraging, futures is not at the level of risks that it normally should be. So if you have auto deleveraging, you can as well use futures without any worry. All right, I'm setting up my bot SMRO. We are shorting. And for that, we're tracking 25. If you have a capital below $200, you have 5 average. If you have a capital way above $200, you have 3 average. So head straight to the calculator and put in your capital. Leverage 10, also deleveraging. And there you go with your setup. I'm going to put in my setup right away. Want to trust you're doing the same. All right. If you're done with any of the setup, you're done with this setup, you can just indicate in the group that you're done. Now, it's always advisable, we always do say that one of the reasons we give a whole lot of setup is that you're able to spread your capital. For those with higher capital, you have like $1,000, you can spread it among 5 different markets. You have more capital, you can spread among 10 different markets. So if a market is not going fine, you have other markets really producing profit for you. And that is a basic investment principle. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. All right, strategy period is 5, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. All right, so I'm going to start up mine. I am done with my setup. And we're going to move to the next setup right away. Okay, someone said this is really sad for him. He doesn't have, he's using a starter license and cannot take all of the trade. That is really one of the perks of a higher license, but you're really not disadvantaged as there's still so much trade that you can take. HNT is a short for the user asking. SMRO is also a short. We're going to post this in the group. We really want to run as fast as possible. All right. I believe a whole lot of us already started this trade. Our next trade is for TOMO. Now, this is also one of the trades that we did take profit from last time. And right now we're switching the direction from the long we had to a short trade. So you want to put up this trade. If you do have a trade running on TOMO before and it's not done, I did say what you need to do. Ocean is already making us a lot of profit on the short. So if you were waiting for your trade to close before moving to the short, you would have missed a whole lot of profits already that you could have made just by closing the current direction of the market. So we have our next trade on TOMO. And if you still do have a trade, then you're possibly in, like literally, if I go to my TOMO, I've made a lot of profit from TOMO. I'm just going to go through that again. And I still do have TOMO in a trade, but in 0.02%. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to share my screen once more. How do you switch this market's direction from one angle to the other? All right. Make sure you're taking all of the swing trade that we're doing. They're totally 100% vital. So this is my screen. I did take profit from TOMO yesterday. Now the market is moving in a different direction and just on 0.02, there's literally no reason to keep holding that trade as it's on really tiny as against how much I've made from the trade. So I'm just going to switch my setup right away from the long to the short. So I'm going to switch it to shorts. So close, and then I'm going to be putting in the new setup for today. So if you go to the calculator, you want to put in TOMO 24.3. So I'm going to do that right away. So we have 24 and we're tracking 3. Leverage is 10. And push, I have my setup as this. So I'm going to be switching every single thing. Now, Tafabot is going to shut down the trade that is ongoing and follow the new side of the market. Yesterday, we did do 5S leverage. Today, we're on 10. Take profit is 1. Strategy period is 5. Entry configuration, you want to put what your calculator gives to you. And this is mine. So you want to do that right away. Have 12 over here. I do have 15 over here. I have 18 over here. I have 21 over here. Now, this is going to be different for you depending on your capital and your setup. And I have the same thing over here. Right. So when I do switch this, it's going to be switching my trade from the direction it currently is to the new direction right away. So I'm going to save, and all I need to do is save the bot. Since the bot is already started, I don't need to start it, and it's just going to switch the trade, close the trade right away, and take the new direction of the markets. All right, I'm going to put back the TOMO setup. I believe we now understand how to do that. I'm going to put back the setup in your screen. And after this, we're going to be heading straight into the charts. So this is a setup for TOMO again. You want to take that up. So once that is done, we want to move right into the charts. Okay. Perfect. Let us jump right into the chart. What does the chart say? Okay, so now we're in the chart. Please let me know if you can see my screen. User is asking what is average movement for Ocean. I'm going to head right there again. Ocean, you're going to have this. Ocean is, depending on your capital, it is 6 or 3, depending on your capital. So above $200, you have 3, below you have 6. All right. Straight on ahead, let us see what the chart is saying. So first is, I did tell you yesterday, as much as the market was pumping, that we're hitting already a market money zone right over here. And I did show that yesterday, that when USD hits the zone, there's a 100% possibility that we're going to be finding a bounce right away. So we did see that bounce happen, which is why you had the market crashing again. You had BTC go down from the 26K to 24K once again, because we are hit a money supply zone over here. Okay, now that we've hit the zone, we're selecting some markets that still has the capacity to go up, while we're also seeing other markets that do have capacity for downward movement, which is why today our setup are quite mixed. We have some setup for short, and we do have some setup for long. Now, if you look at the altcoin market over here, for those descending charts, we're going to go through that. Let's see what the market is saying. So if we see that on the altcoin market, and we find the same ranging also happening with the altcoin market, we've hit a level of high, and then we could be seeing a little bit decline, but not all the coins are going to be declining. You're going to find some coins that are going to be pushing forward, while others are going to be declining, which is why we have a kind of a mixed settings for today. So let's head straight into that. Our first setup was for AAVE. Now, in this setup, I'm going to go straight into it. In our setup for AAVE, Let's go AAVE. Yes, in our setup, we're longing AAVE. However, now, and this is our setup from here. When we created the setup, the price was around this point. Now we can see it's already bouncing into our fourth zone that we're expecting AAVE to hit 6.8% zone right about here. Now, at this point, all our trades should be concluded. We should have taken profit. We're not really looking into AAVE hitting way above into the second zone and the third zone, which it does have the capacity to do, but we're not looking into that. At this point, we're going to have our take profit field already. Now, if the market does choose to decline, then we do have also a 6.5 zone right over here, and we have another zone of 14%. Now, one of the reasons why we're picking AAVE, the support is really strong. The volumes is really going way above, and we find that support really strong. And then it has a low level of pull down. So this is one of the market with a very low level of zone pull down. So we have 14 and 27, really, really very low, that if the market does decide to dump, we are not even seeing a possibility of hitting the 14th level zone over here. So it's a pretty safe setup. Now, as much as it's a pretty safe setup, it also means it's not an extremely volatile setup. So it might not be the setup that we might make a bunch of the profit. That's why we are only aiming for the first zone over here. At this first zone, we would have taken our profit already and will be done with that trade. Then we have the trade for Ocean. So for Ocean, I'm going to jump right into Ocean. Let's see. For Ocean, we did make a long, and then we're switching to short, and we're going to see the reason for that. In our setup for Ocean, Ocean is not able to move into our fourth zone, which is showing a very, very weak pattern. And we also have really declining volume for Ocean. And so that also shows that people are doing a lot of cash out from Ocean. So even if the market does decide to go upward, Ocean has a lesser possibility to keep going up or even beating above our first 11% zone over here. So what we're looking at is Ocean breaking into the downward zone, which we are going to be taking profit, and that is already happening in our Ocean setup. Now, if you did created Ocean while we were minutes ago, while we're creating the bot, your Ocean should have taken 2 profits already, and you're almost done with your setup right on this call. And Mask is also doing the same thing. TOMO is also doing the same thing. HNT, SMRO, all of this setup are already producing profit. So this is one setup that is currently has a weak chart, and we're shorting it despite we're longing some other setup. Then we have TOMO over here. Now on TOMO, I just head straight into TOMO. TOMO, we did have a long yesterday, just like Ocean, and we found TOMO hitting way above all of our zone yesterday. So you could see the upward movement right over here, but with that zone is totally exhausted. Any upward movement from TOMO over here will be more of an overbuy zone. So we're creating a short for it. Now, we do know that this is one market that can be extremely volatile, which is why we're covering up for the second zone over here. And we really do not see the third zone happening. That was just a week that happened, and that is not really a support level right over there. So we're looking at the second zone over here, and volume is also going out of TOMO. The chart is weakening, it's becoming really static. So we're seeing it's coming down into our zone, first zone over here. So we're really not looking for so much. That's why our setup is for 5 strategy that at the first zone over here will be totally done with TOMO. If it decides to find support in this fourth zone, we would already have taken all of our profits out of the market. So users asking, how do I join the Telegram where the daily live training is posted? You're going to see that in the chat right away. So you want to join that. That is posted in the chat. So check on the Telegram chat You're going to find the link over there. Another user is asking, please, can we still take the ocean setup? Yes, you can take the ocean setup. It's still valid. You can take the ocean setup. Most of the setup we give, we do put a validity on it that they are still valid about an hour after the live section. Now, if it does expire during the live section, then we're going to announce that. Okay, let's move forward. Then we have mask over here. So this is one also an overbought zone, and this is one overbought zone, means the market is also going to start declining, and we already see that happening. It's already entering into our fourth zone. There's a lot of resistance. Volumes are declining. Also, a lot of volumes are declining for max. So we're going to see max entering our fourth zone. Now, our setup today is created with the perspective that if the market does chooses to move forward from what it is right now, or if it does chooses to find support, we are only taking profits up to the fourth zone. We're not looking for it to go down further. At the fourth zone, all of our profits would be done already, and we're already seeing that profit happening with Max. So if Max decides to blow up further, we're just going to find it at this 21% zone, which we're covering for. All right, someone said, can you post the setup details? Yes, we do post the setup details into the chart. All right, then we have HNT. Amazing. Now for HNT, I'm going to go right into our setup. HNT setup. This is also one setup that we are shorting. Now the question is, why are we shorting HNT? Also, again, just like Ocean and the rest of them, there's a high level of declining volume, means people are not willing to keep buying HNT at this point. If any of the market does shake, BTC decides to have any decline, we're going to have more decline with HNT. So for those asking what kind of market could give more profit, we believe HNT is going to be really volatile on the downward movement because there's literally no buy power in HNT right now. So this is also on futures. Then we have SMRO. Now, SMRO, I'm going to move there. And this is also one futures market that we are also shorting, still for the same reason, declining volume, hitting all of this resistance. We also already see that happening. So all of this setup, our goal is only the first zone. We're not hoping for it to exceed that. At the first zone, our trade will be 100% done. Then we have the AAVE setup. If you do know about AAVE and you do have one, that's amazing. So we have the AAVE setup. Now, this is one of the setup that we're longing. So while we're longing AAVE, despite that, we're shorting other market. Number one is AAVE, unlike the other market, really does have a level of oversold, and then we're having like increasing volume rather than declining volume, meaning this is one of the market that we do expect a bounce off into the first upward movement zone over here. And at that point, we're going to be taking profits. Now, the interesting thing also about AAVE is if AAVE just decides to decline, it have a very low declining zone. And we have the first at 11, another at 22, the final zone at 33, which also we don't see happening possibly even in the next couple weeks if the market even declines. That is really a very high support zone for AAVE. So we're longing it and covering up for the 22% movement that it has the capacity to do. So all of this market, for those who are saying, okay, I'm hoping to have a reply from support on time. Yes, you're going to get that. User is asking, can we check ROS? We did have a lot of market for today, so we could look into ROS for tomorrow. If there are markets you'd like us to look into, you could always send into the set up live Telegram charts, and we'll put that into consideration. So basically, this is it for our market for today. Right after this call, you're going to find all of this setup in the Telegram group. For those who are not there, you want to join the Telegram group right away. After this call, we're also going to post the Telegram setup group to your Tafabot app that you can just click on an alert to join again if you're not there. So another user is asking, how long is this setup going to be valid for? Now, all of this setup are still valid, means you can take it even an hour from now. They're still okay to run. When they become invalid, we're also going to be announcing in the live setup group. Perfect. So if you did take all of this setup, you're already racking in profits. The profits are already coming in. Now, for those who are still holding other setup, I see a user say, I'm still holding setup like Wi-Fi from yesterday. I did tell you what to do. For such setup like Wi-Fi, okay, you possibly maybe don't want to shut the bots down, because we are not shutting Wi-Fi today. Wi-Fi is still there. We're not shutting it. So you want to set to strategy 1. So it does take a Wi-Fi 1 profit one time and shut the bots. Okay, we have max already on 12% profit. If you're on max, that is already on 12% profit. That is amazing. And a whole lot of all this other setup. Now, if you're using KuCoin, HNT is not on KuCoin. So you want to take other setup that we gave today. If you are on KuCoin, there's no HNT on KuCoin, so you won't be able to trade that on KuCoin. All right, guys, this is going to be it for today. Now, every day we try to have a one-on-one section with a trader who has performed very, very well using the live setup in our retraders re-result. Now, that is going to be happening every day. So if you do want to participate in that, you want to comment on time into the chat that I did make some profit. I have an experience with my setup based on the live setup that we're giving, and I want to share with staffers. Then you will be asked into the real traders real results, where we have a one-on-one conversation. Now, there are benefits to that. Benefits like you're going to get your referral link posted on all the social media, and you're also going to get your referral link have a discount that if people do use your referral link to register within a specific period of time, they're going to get discount as against any other referral link in Tafabot. So those are a lot of perks. Okay, so we want to jump into Telegram right away. Okay, we want to jump into Telegram right away so we can have the setup there. You want to head straight into Telegram, and we're going to be posting the setup right away. For those who didn't take it to pick all of this setup, this is going to be it for today. See you, Taffers. Let's go make some profit again, and we come back tomorrow to review the trade. Let's go make the setup. Amazing. We still do have a lot of charts. We can go through them. If you do have a chart that isn't answered, please send it into the live chart. I'm going to post the live chart here one more time, just to make sure you get it. I'm going to post it right in the chat again.